everybody. Today I'm here with Bob Hardis, Superintendent of Beachwood Schools in Beachwood, Ohio, and CJ Spiro, Beachwood Schools Director of Security. We're going to embark on a conversation that we all wish we didn't have to have, but we are living in scary times and our kids are going to school fearful, and the news shakes us. And so what we want to talk about, what's happening in many of the districts around the country to prepare our kids and to prepare our families. So let's start with this question. What's the most significant change you have made since Sandy Hook and after the more recent Uvalde active shooter attacks?
We decided, for example, to completely close our high school campus. And when we say close, what we really mean is students don't come and go throughout the day. Once our students come in for the day, they stay. And so there's a lot less traffic in and out of our building. While we closed our campus at the high school, at our other buildings, the elementary level, middle school, I would say we've been much more aggressive and much more specific and detailed about making sure that all of our doors, essentially our perimeter of our building, is closed throughout the day, and we funnel all traffic, foot traffic, visitors, etc., through one more secure location than in the past.
Alice seems to be universally adopted as the gold standard. Can you tell us, what does it stand for?
So Alice stands for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. Alice came out shortly after Columbine, and it was a response to schools not having a plan in action. Alice is excellent. While the acronym of Alice is Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate, you certainly don't have to go by that step-by-step letter. You don't have to alert first, lockdown, counter, because you won't have to do those things. We here want people to get out of the building if they can first and get away from any threat that we have.
How does this actually work so our kids are best prepared for those moments?
Officer Spiro and other members of the Beachwood Police Department over the years have trained our staff and our students, and Alice is the basis for that training. And as I'll say, as both a parent of Beachwood students, but also as the superintendent, what I have found most powerful about Alice is that it encourages both our staff and our students in an age-appropriate way to be empowered to make decisions. And that is what CJ Spiro, that is what our Beachwood Police Department teaches us, is to not to just blindly follow a protocol, but to actually think on the ground. And the primary question is, what is the fastest way to safety? And so depending on where you are, what is happening around you, the fastest way to safety is different. And that's what Alice tells you is, for example, with alert, the more we can alert our building with the more information, the better, because then people can better make those decisions. But that won't always be an option. If danger is literally at the door of your classroom, let's say, then locking down the L in Alice may make the most sense in that moment. God forbid you have to, maybe countering directly a threat in front of you is what you have to do in the moment. But the E at the end is honestly, I mean, it ought to be in all caps, bigger font, bolded, because that is the thing that we focus on most. Everyone knows where their exits are. To me, the importance of Alice and what we try to convey to our students and our staff is to make decisions in the moment that are the decisions that lead you to safety the fastest. And what we ask of our staff and we hope from our students is that in addition to looking out for their own safety, that they're going to take as many people with them as possible, as fast as possible. And just get away. To get away from danger is the priority of Alice.
Are there drills that the kids are living with?
We do drills. We want kids to know, all right, when we evacuate, however we evacuate, if we're going through a window, all right, where do we go after that? Where's our rendezvous point? Where's our reconnection point when we reconnect with our families? That's all been established in every single building for every single room that we're in.
As a mom, when I hear about these situations, these terrible, horrible things you never want to hear about, my thought is, why are the kids responsible for any of this? Why aren't the police, the security guards, everyone else taking over, and the kids are just following directions?
No one is walking away, I guess, from responsibility, but we are trying to recognize that situations, from what we've learned from unfortunately every school shooting, is that those situations are fluid, and that the context of what would be the best next move on the part of any person is going to differ depending on where they are, when it's happening. And so we want everybody, we want students and our staff to all feel that they are empowered to make decisions in that moment based on what's happening around them, and not be locked into some sort of rigid protocol about first you do this, then you do that, and have that be followed with no sense of the facts on the ground around them. I feel really strongly that parents should talk to their kids about what they're learning in terms of these safety drills, but that the focus doesn't need to be solely on violent intruders, coming in intent on harming them or others in the school. This sort of situational awareness, training for anything, any sort of environment, I think is really helpful to students. Because if you think about it, if our priority is to get away from danger, that danger could be a person, that danger could be a fire, could be a chemical spill. As we give over more independence to our kids, and we all want our kids to become independent, highly functioning adults, part of that is that being aware of their surroundings and making choices. As they go off to college, they're going to, they may be in environments, maybe it's a party, maybe it's a concert setting where if they start to feel like they're in a situation where they don't have control of their own bodies, of their ability to control their space and be safe, I think all of this is good preparation for that. And it doesn't always have to focus on guns and shooting and violence. It can just simply be this broader idea of what is safe, when do you feel safe? How do you control that? How in empowering our students to feel that they control their own safety and should always make sure they're in positions to do so. I think that's a really important lesson parents can teach their kids and reinforce. It's really unfortunate that we have to have these conversations. It's unfortunate that we practice for situations like this. But if I do see a silver lining in it, I feel that it's this idea that if we can turn what feels very, very disturbing and scary into something empowering, that to me would not only benefit students in a crisis, but benefits our students simply as they grow older and take on more responsibility and build independence. There's really there's something about growing in that way that we can look to as a positive in a very dark situation. I think we can look to that as the bright spots.